All right, hello wine drinking people. We are back for more of what I drank yesterday, and this is our Italian tasting at Cafe Maxx. You know, we do these tastings at Cafe Maxx every other Wednesday. Usually we have 4 to 6 wines. Chef Oliver Sassi puts out a couple of small courses to complement the wines for 35 bucks. Are you kidding me? It's the best value of anything that we do. To be able to go to a nice restaurant like Cafe Maxx, have 8 bottles of really nice, 8 different really nice wines, and 2 or 3 small appetizer courses. That includes gratuity, folks. The only thing that's additional is tax. Are you kidding me? All right, well, great stuff. We had 2 suppliers last night. Dominic Nocerino Jr., the owner of Santa Elena Winery, and Luigi from Vinifera Imports were there to help me. And then Tanya from GOS, a small importer distributor, also there. So I had a lot of help last night for the 50 people. Jeez, you kidding me? Think people like Italian wines? Yes. And usually we get a big turnout for Bordeaux, for Italian. Hey, what do we got coming up next? California Cabernet. Hello, what's more popular than California Cabernet? So probably have about 50 people 2 weeks from last Wednesday night. So coming up here quickly, and a lot of good stuff last night. We started out with a couple of white wines from the Friuli region, Venezia Giulia, and these are from Santa Elena, the Pinot Grigio 2009, one of the most popular grape varietals coming out of Italy today, and commonality, you know, sometimes breeds contempt, and a lot of people look at Pinot Grigio and just go, I don't like that varietal. Santa Margherita, ugh, it's horrible, darling. You know, well, it's only 11% alcohol. It's not even a real wine. Are you kidding me? There are some great wines made out of Pinot Grigio. Pinot Grigio is one of the only grapes that has both white and red grape clusters when ripe. So a lot of people make pinkish kind of Pinot Grigio in Friuli in Italy, northern Italy, and they leave it sit on contact with the skins for a little time. But they do make this kind of Pinot Grigio at Santa Elena, but we don't have it. We gave you the squeaky clean version of Pinot Grigio, light, crisp, pear, apple fruit, a little bit of hint of sweetness there, and lovely freshness though on the finish, and a really nice clean style of Pinot Grigio from Santa Elena, this 2009, really nice. A lot of people love this wine. Sauvignon, which, most places in the world call it Savion Blanc, but a lot of wineries in Italy from Friuli just have Sauvignon on the label. The same grape varietal. This one very much true to the varietal, a little bit of sage, some herbs, some nice grapefruit and peach kind of fruit showing through on the palate there. Really crisp and clean, a wine that leaves you salivating for food. One of the things we love about Sauvignon Blanc. All right, a nice little white and even cheaper than the Pinot Grigio. All right, next up, a simple Sangiovese from Radda and Chianti, a great vintage 2007. This wine does not see any oak at all. 100% Sangiovese and a very fresh strawberry and a light berry fruit. If you chill this wine down slightly, man, really refreshing, kind of remind you of a Beaujolais, but a nice little wine for $13 and change. All right, next up, Chianti Classico DOCG. And Chianti is one of the 4 DOCGs in Tuscany, and probably the most overhyped. You know, if you look at the amount of wines that are average, they're called Chianti DOCG, far more in number than what you'd find from Brunello di Montalcino, Vino Nobile di Montepulciano, or the newest DOCG as of 2006, Morellino di Scanzano. So kind of an ocean of everyday wine. This one had a little bit of Yolo in it. Most of them are blends. And, pretty easy drinking style Chianti. The crowd really liked this. Had that nice, light strawberry, red cherry fruit, soft, smooth tannins, and a little bit of that dusty earth. A pretty enjoyable little Chianti from a great vintage there. And for 20 bucks, not bad. Next up, the Reserva Landolai. And this wine, really nice, single vineyard Chianti, had the addition of 10% Merlot, something you're starting to see them do in Chianti and in Tuscany. Merlot, maybe you haven't heard of this little wine called Massetto. The most collectible wine in Italy is 100% Merlot from Tuscany, but works really well with Sangiovese, tends to round it out. It can be a little bit acidic, a little bit caustic, and Merlot really makes it a lot more appealing, just like it really worked with this wine really well. All right, next up we had the Capri Brunello di Montalcino. Tanya, if you're going to show wines, please make them the same vintage that we have to sell. For those of you that attended the tasting last night, I apologize. We had the 2004 vintage, not the 2005 that was on your sheet, and unfortunately we have no 2004 to sell you, just 2005. So sorry, those of you that like the 2004, it was excellent, but I'm not going to say much about it because we don't have it to sell you. All right, the Santa Elena Rosterol Merlot, 2000 vintage Merlot from Friuli. Are you kidding me? I'm sure most people did a double take when they looked at that. But I don't hesitate in buying older vintage wines from a company like Vinifera because Dominic Nocerino Sr. he controls every aspect of from the time the wine leaves Italy till it gets to my back door. I know that it's been cared for properly. I've been to Dominic's warehouse here in South Florida. I've been to his warehouse in Ronkonkoma, and he's got a serious wine problem like me. It's one of the reasons I like Dominic. He's got pallets of like 15-liter bottles there. He is very passionate about wine, and this is his winery. This wine showed like an old Pomerol, really soft cherry fruit, clay-like minerals, black plum, really still pretty expansive on the palate, lovely round tannins, still nice freshness, showing that herbaceousness that Merlot is so well known for when it starts to get old. Like I said, similar to an old Pomerol for me, really nice. The Quantum Pinot, this was a love-or-hate wine. Pinot is one of those Cinderella varietals like Schippettino, Refusco. They have all these varietals most people have never heard of. Pinot being the scarcest. There's only 70 acres of Pinot even grown in all of Italy. There's only a half dozen producers that make it, and when you get it right, it can be really exotic. It's one of the only wine that I've ever read a review from Robert Parker Jr., and he's called it kinky and pornographic in one review, the Moscione 1998 Pinot. But this 2006, a little fresher style of Pinot, still had that licorice, the anish, the kind of really exotic bouquet of flowers there showing, and kind of more red berry fruit here in this one, and also this lovely freshness at the end. And a lot of people said, man, this is an Italian wine that seems French to me. Well, it was very elegant, had a lot of length and a lovely texture on your tongue, but still a little big, a little tannic, and some people just didn't get it. They said, this wine just must need a little more time. But hey, that was our #1 selling wine of the night, and that is the sign to me of success. Did the people like it? Did they buy it? So yes, Dominic Jr., good job selling your wine last night. That's what we had to drink last night, folks. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.